Everyone, my name's Emma. Today we are talking about the documentary A Plastic Ocean. When it comes to choices and decisions, the ones that we make with more intention will help us create the world that we want to live in. So what we talk about here on this channel, how can we make better choices and better decisions to create a better world and a better life? A Plastic Ocean chronicles the entire story of plastic, where it comes from, where it goes. What does recycling mean? When we throw something away, it is actually here for someone. Our plastic doesn't disappear off the face of the planet. It ends up in our oceans, in our rivers, in other people's backyards, and people are even living on top of plastic because of how much we have created in this world. Now, plastic is a more recent invention. Plastic first came to be used commercially around the 50s, so it has only been around for about 70 years, yet we have changed the face of the world with plastic because of how little it is able to be degraded. And it can never actually be fully broken down. It just becomes microplastic, which is what ends up in our oceans. Now, plastic is made out of fossil fuels. We're often told that the fossil fuel industry is the worst one for the planet, but mostly because of cars and planes and buses and trains. But the reality is that 6,000 items in our homes and that we interact with on a daily basis contain plastic in it. And every single plastic contains endocrine disrupting chemicals. That means that the chemicals present in the plastic actually disrupt our hormonal system, which is the most sensitive system in our body. It is known that there is over 200 chemicals present in the human body that didn't exist there before the 1950s. I'll post the other documentary that talks about that. So, we buy the plastic bag in our grocery store, we take it home, everything else that we bought was also wrapped in plastic. Now we take it and we throw it away, or we throw it into recycling. Now, recycling is this wonderful myth that was created by the fossil fuel industry that put the responsibility of plastic on the consumer instead of the producer, which would be these big corporations. Now, plastic also gives people this idea, hey, I am using this plastic, but I'm recycling it, so I'm doing good, so that means that there's nothing wrong with buying plastic. It is a fantastic greenwashing scheme that has become a big part of everything that we do. And even when I was a sustainability intern, that was one of the main things that we focused on. How can we recycle better at the school? Because even though there is recycling available, and I'll talk a bit more about what recycling actually is, people still didn't do it right. It is more complicated than we think, and actually a lot of bags of recycling will be refused and just end up being thrown in the regular trash streams because of people not being able to recycle correctly, putting in the wrong types of plastic. Not all plastic can be recycled, and by recycling it means to take that piece of plastic, to break it down, and then to be able to be reused in another item. Now, the issue with recycling is that it doesn't get rid of the problem that plastic is. It just gives people the feeling that they're doing something good for the planet because they're recycling. They're not actually getting to the root of the problem, which is the plastic itself. Now, Plastic Ocean did a fantastic job of showing the stark reality of the other side of the world that is being choked by plastic, that is being polluted with plastic that we throw out here. A great deal of our trash is shipped from America to other countries and just dumped there. Other countries in the world have become America's wasteland. And children can be seen swimming through this trash, this recycling, this plastic, and being forced to live in these conditions. A lot of people have turned to burning plastic for fuel, and that is one of the worst things that we can do, and that is how a lot of recycling is dealt with, is being burned. When we burn plastic, we create one of the worst chemicals in the world called dioxin. And because of burning being one of the ways that we deal with recycling, it has created bigger problems than if this plastic ends up being just thrown out. But we could also just choose to use less plastic. I'll link a few different ways that we could all use less plastic down in the description box. But another big part of the movie, of the documentary, was showing how animals are ingesting plastic. They found a 6-month-old bird that died because it ate so much plastic that it could not actually get enough food to sustain itself. And remember, plastic never degrades. It can only be broken down, and even then only slightly. And if it is ever broken down, it becomes microplastics, which get even more into the food chain and get through all of these animals. So the idea of cancer is not something that is prevalent in nature. Nature doesn't often make mistakes, but what we are seeing is animals falling to cancer and having these health problems because of the amount of plastic, dying from not being able to consume enough food, and overall creating this world that is killing them because of the plastic that we choose to use. Now, there are some very simple switches like getting a reusable water bottle. And many people say those are single-use switches, and of course, we should all be starting wherever we can to use less plastic, getting rid of those plastic water bottles, and I will do a video on water bottles themselves and what that actually means later on. But when we continue to buy this plastic and just throw it out and not think about it, we are contributing to the life of that plastic without knowing the story of it. Now, I will post down below the story of stuff as well, so you can check that out, because there is so much that we are just unaware of where plastic goes. So it comes to the point, all right, we've recycled the plastic, it's actually gone to the end of its life cycle, now it's recycled, what can be done with it then? So clothes can be made out of it, although the issue with that is that when clothes are made out of plastic, microplastics and microfibers fall off of it that do not get trapped by regular filter systems, and then it ends up going into our waterways and back into the ocean. And it can also be made into other materials, but recycling does have a life cycle, so if a material is recycled once, that it usually means is the end of its ability to be recycled. So we can actually only recycle things once, and then we are unable to do it again. Now, it brings up this very interesting topic of there's now clothes that are being branded as recycled plastic, and unfortunately, there's quite a few companies that are choosing to just create plastic, shred the plastic without it ever being used by consumers, and then putting on their clothing that says it's recycled plastic. So we have to make sure that it's recycled post-consumer plastic if we actually want to be taking plastic out of the waste stream, and being sure to put these microfilters on our washing machines. And it's a very easy fix. I will link down below a way that it can be done. I'm not aware of all the different ones, but I'll post the one that I do know about down below. And then it comes down to the truth of plastic. There are so many people across the world living conditions that we have forced upon them because of the luxuries that we are able to choose and not think twice about. So maybe the next time we take a moment and really consider, does this plastic need to be bought? And I know that it is difficult because so many things are sold in plastic, whether it is sold with a plastic wrap on it, which cannot be recycled. Throw that in the trash. Do not throw it in recycling, because that could be a reason why an entire bag of recycling is just refused and thrown into the trash stream anyway. So now we're throwing out things that can be recycled into that stream as well. And we are continuing to actively hurt our planet and its citizens of the world, and we can do better. Now, I jumped a bit from topic to topic in regards to a plastic ocean, but no matter what I say about it, I can't show you the entirety of the visuals that are a stark reminder of a reality that we're never told about, a reality that we contribute to every single day that we have no idea about. We are affecting the lives of generations with every choice that we make, not just ours, but people from all over the world. I encourage you to watch it. I'll post down below where you can go and watch it. I think it is just a few dollars if you not have one of those streaming sites. And I encourage you that spending money when it comes to learning about our planet is always the best thing that we can do. When it comes to learning about ourselves, when it comes to learning about almost anything, we should take the time and the space and give ourselves the freedom to do that and to encounter what we can do with that information. It will give us hope again. I know that all of this sounded really devastating and scary, but knowledge is power, and that is because when we don't know what the truth is, it hides in the dark, and we think it's super scary. But if we turn on the light, if we take back our power and we just know about it, we can then do something. If we don't give ourselves the ability to learn about it, we will never have any ability over controlling the outcome of it. So I hope you join me on this journey and really start making choices that help you, the planet, and all who live on it. Thank you for being here, and I hope to see you soon. But until then, I hope you have an amazing day.